Welcome to this video. In this video, I have compiled 100 Introduction to Psychology multiple choice questions and answers for your study purposes when preparing for the course Introduction to Psychology. If you are new to this channel, I urge you to subscribe. And if you are an old subscriber and you are returning to this channel, I welcome you back. Thank you, and continue to write on the comment section for anything that you want me to compile related to psychology. Thank you, and continue viewing this video. Number 1, which of the following fields in psychology deals with the brain and the nervous system? A. Developmental psychology. B. Clinical psychology. Cognitive psychology. Personal psychology. The correct answer is C. Cognitive psychology. The term structuralism was introduced by Wundt, Titchener, Darwin, Galton. The correct answer is Titchener. Remember, Titchener was the student of Wundt, and when he migrated to the Americas, that's when he popularized structuralism and also gave it a name. Psychology is a natural science, biological science, physical science, social science. I think by now you now know that psychology is a social science. When we talk of the natural sciences, we're talking about geography, biological science, biology, animal science, physical science, physics, and other disciplines. So psychology is a social science. Which of the following is regarded as the father of experimental psychology? Wundt, Watson, Piaget, Maslow. The correct answer is Wundt. If you remember, Wundt was the first person to come up with the psychological lab to carry out experiments in the study of psychology. When is behavior classified as abnormal? A. When it is statistically unusual. B. When it is appropriate. C. When it interferes with normal functioning in society. D. All the above. The correct answer is C. When it interferes with functioning in society. Titchener defined psychology as the science of mind, soul, conscious experience. The correct answer is C. Who is the founder and principal proponent of psychoanalysis? Watson, Ivan Pavlov, Sigmund Freud. Carl Jung was also a psychoanalyst, but is not the principal proponent and founder. SR concept was first established by Pavlov, William James Watson, Wundt. The correct answer is J.B. Watson. Anything that invokes a response in an organism is called an incident, antecedent, stimulus, situation. The correct answer is stimulus. Dash is the psychologist who invented the first psychometric test. William James, William McDougall, Alfred Binet, J.B. Watson. The correct answer is Alfred Binet, the French psychologist, who is regarded as the pioneer of functional psychology. J.B. Watson, Charles Darwin, Wundt, William James. The correct answer is William James. Who is the founder of experimental psychology? Carl Rogers, Sigmund Freud, Wundt, Pavlov. The correct answer is Wundt. Another term for reinforcement is a stimulus, reward, response, condition. The correct answer is reward. The last stage of Freud's psychosexual theory is A. Oral stage, latent stage, genital, resolution stage. The correct answer is genital stage. The term tabula rasa highlights the importance of dash in shaping behavior. A. Genes, experience, nature, predestination. The correct answer is experience. Who described the mind as the tabula rasa? A. Francis Galton, William Wundt, John Locke, Kurt Kafka. The correct answer is John Locke. He was a philosopher. Freud's view of human nature was a positive, deterministic, liberal, paternalistic. The correct answer is deterministic. Chomsky's early work was based on a measurement, structure of language, the aging process, speech. The key word on this question is early work. Noam Chomsky has done a lot of work and is still researching. So the correct answer here would be the structure of language. Watson and Skinner both contributed to which school of thought? A. Functionalism. B. Cognitive. C. Social cultural. D. Behaviorism. The correct answer would be behaviorism. People use dash to protect themselves from the pain of unacceptable impulses. A. Catharsis. B. Defense mechanisms. C. Instincts. D. Dream analysis. The correct answer would be defense mechanisms. Select the odd one out. Ego ideal. Ego, super ego, id. The correct answer is ego ideal. Who is credited for coming up with the hierarchy of needs? A. Carl Rogers, Abraham Maslow, Abraham Lincoln, Anna Freud. The correct answer is Abraham Maslow. Damage to the pituitary gland can result in A. Alzheimer's disease, Parkinsonism, loss of libido, dwarfism. The correct answer is dwarfism. The split brain operation involves cutting through the A. limbic system, prefrontal lobes, hippocampus, corpus callosum. The correct answer is not the first three choices, but D. Which of the following does not promote the progress of psychology as a science? A. Criticizing initial findings, providing alternative interpretations, relying on common sense explanations of behavior of observations, conducting further research. The correct answer is C. Psychology was born out of two parents, dash and dash. A. Physiology and physics, physiology and physiology, philosophy and physiology, philosophy and humanism, behavior and functionalism. The correct answer is B. Free association and interpretation are important techniques in person-centered therapy, cognitive therapy, behavioral psychoanalysis. Who is considered to be by many to be the father of the Gestalt movement? Max Wertheimer, William Wundt, Carl Rogers, B.F. Skinner. The correct answer is A. Which one is the odd one out? Jean Piaget, Jerome Brumer, Donald Broadbent, Franz Pius. You have to realize that all these are cognitive psychologists except D. Operant conditioning is also known as classical conditioning, trial and error learning, cognitive learning, respondent learning. The correct answer is D. Which field of psychology would be most likely to study the influence of overcrowding on conformity? A. Personality, B. Cognitive, C. Clinical, D. Social. The correct answer would be social, not clinical, nor cognitive, nor personality. Which of Freud's components of the mind represent reason or rationality? A. Projection, B. Id, C. Ego, D. Superego. The correct answer would be ego, not these other options. Who carried out psychological experiments on the mentality of apes? A. Withheimer, Kohler, Rubia, Kafka. The correct answer is Kohler. The Daesh movement was formally launched in 1912 by Withheimer. Functionalists, structuralists, Gestalt. The correct answer is Gestalt. It's A, B, C, and D. A clinician who looks for information concerning assumptions, interpretations, and coping skills during an interview probably takes the Daesh approach. A. Cognitive, B. Biological, C. Behavioral, D. Humanistic. The correct answer would be cognitive. Attitudes are acquired through A. Classical conditioning, operant conditioning, imitation, all of the above. You have to realize that they are acquired through classical conditioning, operant conditioning, imitation. So the correct answer would be D. In social psychology, reverse discrimination refers to our tendency to A. Treat all persons as individuals, B. Embarrass members of groups other than our own, C. Be very kind or friendly towards other groups merely because they happen to be members of other groups, D. Be neither negative nor positive towards members of groups other than our own. The correct answer would be B. On whose work is systematic desensitization based on? A. Joseph Wolpe, Anna Freud, Albert Bandura, B.F. Skinner. The correct answer would be Joseph Wolpe. In Pavlovian experiments on conditioning, the dog salivated when presented with the food. Food is regarded A as conditioned stimulus, learned stimulus, and conditioned stimulus, learned response. The correct answer would be conditioned stimulus. The split brain operation involves the cutting through the limbic system, prefrontal lobes, hippocampus, corpus callosum. The correct answer would be D. Number 43. Which theorists proposed that children go through moral developmental stages? A. Erikson, B. Kohlberg, C. Piaget, D. Gesell. The correct answer is Kohlberg. Which stage precedes identity versus role confusion in Erikson's psychosocial stages? A. Intimacy versus isolation, B. Industry versus inferiority, C. Generativity versus stagnation, D. Ego identity versus despair. The correct answer is B. Yuri Bronfenbrenner is the main proponent of A. Moral development, B. Cognitive development, C. Ecological development, D. Emotional development. The correct answer is C. In Kate Lewin's 1951 famous equation, B was equals F multiplied by P and E. P stands for A. People, personality, prevention, primary. The correct answer is D. According to Dash, language acquisition device LAD is found in the brain of every human being. A. Skinner, Thorndike, Blomfield, Chomsky. The correct answer is Chomsky. Which hemisphere of the brain is responsible for analytical thinking? A. Right, B. Middle, C. Left, D. All of the above. The correct answer is left. That's the left hemisphere of the brain. In the year dash, psychology was first accepted as a science. A. 1779, 1679, 1879, 1889. The correct answer, if you remember very well, it's 1879. That's when William Wundt established the first psychology laboratory for the study of psychology. Number 50. Clinical psychology deals with the practical aspects of A. Abnormality, B. Educational needs, C. Social cohesion, D. Experimental designs. The correct answer is A. Number 51. The left and right hemispheres are connected to each other by A. Pituitary, medulla, corpus callosum, D. pons. The correct answer is C. What is the main goal of psychology? A. Methods of therapy. B. Understand, describe the behavior. C. Compare the human mind. D. Appreciate human behavior. The correct answer is B. According to Bandura's theory, one can be socialized by A. Punishment, B. Observation or observations, C. Food, D. None of the above. The correct answer is B. Ebbinghaus is well known for pioneering research on A. Perception, emotion, memory, thinking. And the correct answer is memory, C. In a big noisy lecture hall, you manage to overhear two people sitting far from you talking about you. This is called A. Perceptual consistency, B. Figure ground perception, selective attention, D. None of the above. The correct answer is C. The term psychology comes from which language? A. Latin, Spanish, Greek, Italian. The correct answer is Greek. The difference between human and animal brains is the presence of A. Cerebral cortex, hypothalamus, thalamus, cerebellum. The correct answer is A. The following scholars have contributed immensely to the development of psychology. Who among them is described as the father of medicine? A. Aristotle, B. Wundt, C. Hippocrates, D. Watson. The correct answer is Hippocrates. 59. The behaviorists rejected introspection because A. It is too slow, B. It invaded people's privacy, C. It yielded too much data, D. It was too objective. The correct answer is D. The brain and spinal cord are major components of A. Peripheral nervous system, B. Central nervous system, C. Lateralization process, D. Endocrine system. The correct answer is B. In legal practice, psychology has informed the law on definitions of A. Crime, B. Rape, C. Abnormality, D. Sodomy. The correct answer is C. Abnormality. Number 62. Use of basic scientific knowledge and methodology in psychology to help solve problems is A. Social psychology, B. Problem solving psychology, C. Applied psychology, D, none of the above. The correct answer is applied psychology, C. Number 63. Dash psychology focuses on higher mental processes, including thinking, memory, reasoning, problem solving, judging, decision making, and language. Which group of psychology is this? Which specialty? A, developmental, cognitive, C, social, D, clinical. The correct answer is cognitive. The curriculum of preschools borrows heavily from developmental psychologists like A, Freud, Rogers, Skinner, Piaget. The correct answer is Piaget, which is D. Number 65, according to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, developing personal growth and attaining self-fulfillment is called A, self-respect, self-actualization, esteem, self-adequacy. D. The correct answer is B, self-actualization. Number 66, who developed a laboratory approach to the study of psychology in Germany in the 19th century? A, B.F. Skinner, B, J.B. Watson, C, Wundt, D, none of the above. The correct answer is C, Wundt. Number 67, Freud's hysteria is now referred to as A, dissociative disorder, B, personality disorder, C, neuroticism, C, psychoticism. The correct answer is A, dissociative disorder. Number 68, this endocrine gland is known as the master gland. A, thyroid gland, C, adrenal gland, C, hypothalamus, D, the pituitary gland. The correct answer here is D, pituitary gland. Number 69, William James' ideas regarding psychological phenomena centered around the idea of A, a stream of consciousness, B, a sea of the subconscious, C, a stream of the subconscious, D, a sea of consciousness. The correct answer is A, stream of consciousness. Number 70. According to Maslow, if you are stranded in the Kalahari Desert, which of the following would you most likely to do first? A, look for inhabitants. B, look for dinner and fresh water. C, build a place to live in. C, D, establish a form of self-government. The correct answer would be B. You would have to look for dinner and fresh water. Number 71. Who postulated the drive reduction theory of learning? A, Ivan Pavlov. B, William James. C, Clark C. Hall. D, Zimbardo. The correct answer would be C, Clark Hall. Number 72. Who did the work on the cognitive map of the environment? A, Thorndike. B, Pavlov. C, Truman. D, Watson. The correct answer is Truman, C. Number 73. The Greek philosopher Dash believed that knowledge is acquired through experience and learning. A, Archimedes. B, Rousseau. C, Plato. D, Aristotle. The correct answer would be Aristotle, D. The superego, number 74, can be divided into A, conscience and ego ideal, B, super and ego, C, consciousness and unconscious motivations, D, thanatos and id. The correct answer would be D, thanatos and id. Number 75, environmental psychology. A, creates awareness in individuals. B, deals with people's problems. C, deals with the way people come to terms with their physical and social surroundings and the factors that influence the relationship of thought and action. D, deals with reading. The correct answer would be C. Number 75. Who coined the term cognitive dissonance? A. Festinger, B. Ho, C. Fromm, D. Popper. The correct answer is A. Festinger. Number 77. What is the goal of the behaviorist approach to psychology? A. To use self-reports of experiences. B. To objectively predict behavior. C. To condition humans to salivate upon the mere presentation of food. D. To demonstrate the role of free will in human behavior via controlled experiments. The correct answer would be B. To objectively predict human behavior. Number 78. Who is famous for the quotation, "Give me a dozen healthy infants at birth, and I can take anyone at random and train him or her to become any type of person I choose. Doctor, lawyer, artist, beggar, thief, etc." A. J.B. Watson, B. E.L. Thorndike, C. B.F. Skinner, D. J. Warp. The correct answer would be A. J.B. Watson. Classical behaviorism may be referred to as A. SR conditioning, B. SOR conditioning, C. The old science, D. operant conditioning. The correct answer would be A. SR conditioning. Number 80. A key weakness of behaviorist theories is that A. Explaining human behavior based on the observations of animal behavior, B. An overwhelming focus on cognitive processes, C. The use of self-reported data, D. Its positive view of human behavior. The correct answer would be A. Its weakness would be explaining human behavior based on the observations of animal behavior. Which of the following does Rogers not list as a feature of a psychologically healthy person? The key word here is not, which means all the other components are listed by Rogers as a feature of a psychologically healthy person. A. Spontaneity and flexibility. B. Creativity. C. A firm believer in his or her own importance. D. The will to follow his or her own instincts. The correct answer would be C. A firm believer of his or her own importance. Number 82. The most important historical figure to develop the idea of evolution was or is A. Darwin, B. Mendel, C. Crick, D. Bass. The correct answer would be Charles Darwin, A. Free association is to Freud what Day is to Skinner. A. Classical conditioning, B. Social learning, C. Reinforcement, D. Irrational thinking. The correct answer would be C. Reinforcement. 84. Cognitive therapy differs from behavior therapy in that A. It focuses on ideas, thoughts, and cognitions. B. It puts more emphasis on the role of environmental factors. C. It gives special attention to the stimulus response pattern. D. It ignores the power of reinforcement contingencies. The correct answer would be A. It focuses on ideas, thoughts, and cognitions. 85. According to Freud, the mind's three components are A. Ego, id, superego. B. Unconscious, moral, immoral. C. oral, anal, phallic. D, primary, secondary, and tertiary. The correct answer would be A, ego, id, and superego. Number 86, the tendency to change our perceptions, opinions, and behavior in ways that are consistent with group norms is called A, compliance, B, conformity, C, obedience, C, D, reactance. The correct answer would be B, conformity. Number 87, the dash complex is to girls just as the dash complex is to boys. A, Electra, Oedipus, B, Oedipus, Electra, C, oral, phallic, D, phallic, oral. The correct answer is A. The Electra complex is to girls, just as the Oedipus complex is to boys. Number 88. According to Freud, children pass through 4 stages of psychosexual development. Which of the following stages are in the correct developmental order? A, oral, anal, phallic, latency. B, latency, oral, anal, phallic. C, phallic, anal, oral, latency. D, oral, phallic, latency, anal. The correct order would be A, oral, anal, phallic, latency. Number 89. When the id and superego clash, the byproduct is A, moral anxiety, B, neurotic anxiety, C, conflict anxiety, D, realistic anxiety. The correct answer would be neurotic anxiety. Number 90. According to Maslow, a self-actualizing person is characterized by A, mediocrity in his goals, B, presentation of a facade of social situations, C, assertiveness and expressiveness, D, fear of being rejected. The correct answer would be C, assertiveness and expressiveness. Number 91. Who developed the rational emotive behavior therapy? A, Beck, B, Rogers, C, Kelly, D, Ellis. The correct answer would be D, Ellis. Number 92. Choose the odd one out. A, slips of the tongue, B, dream analysis, C, free association, D, defense mechanisms. The correct answer would be D, defense mechanisms. You will notice that all these other 3 options, slips of the tongue, dream analysis, and free association, are all methodologies that are used by psychoanalysts in coming up or in helping their clients. Number 93. The following are associated with humanistic approaches to therapy except A, Carl Rogers, B, Nelson Jones, C, Carl Jung, D, Rollo May. The correct answer would be C, Carl Jung, who was a psychoanalyst. 94. Humanistic psychologists embrace the idea of A, repression, B, free will, C, unconscious drives, D, the id. The correct answer would be B, free will. Number 95. According to Lattin and Daly, the first stage in the decision-making process that bystanders go through is called A, taking responsibility of the act, B, weighing the costs and benefits, C, perceiving a need, D, helping. The correct answer would be C, perceiving a need. In this study, you have to realize we are talking about prosocial behavior. So one is to A, and we have to perceive the need before undertaking any acts of helping, that is pro-social behavior. Number 96. Which neo-Freudian challenged Freud's ideas about penis envy? A. Adler, B. Fromm, C. Jung, D. Horny. The correct answer would be D. Horny. Number 97. Projective tests claim to reveal information about A. Career aptitude, B. Intellectual attainment, C. Unconscious processes, D. Parental style. The correct answer would be C. Unconscious processes. Number 98. The purpose of research is to A. Record people's stories, B. Confirm or disconfirm some theory, C. Investigate the truth about some old information, D. Make public knowledge. The correct answer would be B. To confirm or disconfirm some theory. Number 99. Attitudes and beliefs a person holds that help him or her to determine what is right or wrong is what Kolbeck calls A. Norms, B. Operations, C. Convictions, D. Morals. The correct answer would be D. Morals. Number 100, which is the last question. The aim of behavioral genetics is to learn about A. The extent to which genetics can modify people's behavior, B. The possibility of eradicating behavioral problems in children, C. The genetic and environmental influences on human behavior, C. D. The ability of animals to learn language. The correct answer would be C. The genetic and environmental influences on human behavior. Thank you for watching and learning about psychology. I hope you have subscribed to this channel. I encourage you to subscribe so that we will continue to churn out more content that is related to psychology. If you have anything that you wish me to touch on, you are free to comment and write on the comments page so that I will look into that matter or explain further any of the issues that I've covered in this video. If you have subscribed, thank you. If you have not subscribed, may you please subscribe so that we will continue to discuss anything related to psychology. Thank you and God bless you.